Howdy folks, welcome to another episode of Your Graves Hobby Podcast, the podcast where I talk about everything from tabletop RPGs to tabletop board games to tabletop war games and everything those particular hobbies encompass. Today, not plugging anything because Glasgow Game Gathering was this weekend, already been, so nothing to plug there, and I'll probably plug Glasgow District at the end of the episode. So, as I said, I was at G3 this weekend. Not G3, the Glasgow Game Gathering this weekend. It was the first time that they've had the Game Gathering, and it was quite good. Quite good for a first go at a show. It wasn't particularly busy, but the size of the hall that they had, I think, probably did that for you. Made it not look as big as it was, because everything was quite well spaced out. What you tend to find that shows is they're not really that evenly spaced out. There's not a big gap, and there's enough of a gap that they legally have to have, but with this there was quite a wide gap between all the tables and the traders, and all the traders were all around the outside, but as you would expect, apart from in the middle, there were some traders in the middle as well, which is quite interesting what they did, because it's quite a big hall, the main hall in Bellhouston Sports Centre, so they could have crammed in a lot more people, like businesses and stuff, but I think for a first go, and it was quite a good one, because it was also quite a good mix, obviously, because they had RPGs and they had board games and they had war games, and like participation games and everything. That was quite an interesting combination, and also the combination of businesses that they had, all the traders that they had. You had Common Ground, I think Static were there. I don't actually remember seeing them. But you had Warlord, you had all the ones that you expect at a Scottish show, and all the big ones that you expect as well. Maybe not all the big ones, but you had Reaver Casting, you had Warlord, I can't remember everyone else that was there, but it was an interesting mix, of different types of traders and different things that they had. So there was something for everyone, something for board gamers, something for war gamers, something for RPGers. There was actually quite a few companies that do RPG kit, so that was quite different from any show that I've been to up until this point. But that's good. They're not copying what everyone else is doing. They're doing their own thing, and I commend that, because it takes a risk. It's a risk to take that they didn't have to do. They could have just gone with the old formula that Claymore have got and a lot of the other shows have got, or gone a wee bit more radical and gone with Falkirk's way Falkirk do things, but they've gone totally radical. They've gone down their own thing. They've run it their own way, which I think's actually pretty brilliant, pretty well done, to be honest. There was a lot of local traders, and there was a lot of Scottish traders as well. They were supporting Scottish wargaming and gaming and RPGing and everything, which you do get the other ones, but it doesn't feel like it was done. It doesn't feel like it's done on purpose with the other ones. I think they've done it on purpose with obviously this particular show, because you had loads of different traders, but also you had Flags of War. Ian for Flags of War, he was there with all his stuff, and he had quite a selection of stuff as well. So it was quite interesting. As I said, it wasn't particularly massively supported, but I think that had a lot to do with the heat, because it was very, very close. It was very, very warm, and also at 29th of June, it's a bit late in the summer to be doing it, I think, because the schools in Scotland had just obviously gone on holiday on the Friday, so a lot of people were going on holiday on the Saturday or going on holiday on the Friday night or something. So you've got that impacted on it. You've got the heat that impacted on it. I mean, Belliston isn't difficult to get to. You can get a train. Well, you can get a train to Dumbreck and you can walk for 20 minutes, which I found to my own detriment, because I was wearing jeans, and that was not pleasant, that walk. Thankfully, I got a lift into town off one of my mates. But there was enough board games and RPGs and like war games participation things that it was built to be an introduction to the hobby for a lot of people, or an introduction to a game for a lot of people. So I quite enjoyed it. I didn't get to spend a lot of time, I'll be absolutely honest, because I was half dying, and my knee was killing me. I had to take the weekend off work because my knee and my ankle and my back and everything were in absolute agony. So I'm taking painkillers and stuff and walking about and going, I really need to sit down. Just have to stop walking about. But the thing with it as well is that you obviously, Falkirk at Carronade, they use up quite a number of halls and everything for the show. Everything was on, and obviously Carronade do the same thing under that fucking canopy. Ugh, that's horrid, being under that canopy. But to be honest, Claymore's a bit horrid to be at anyway. Let's not mention my issues with Seswick ever on this show, because I will just rant for 2 hours about the shit that goes on with them. But as I said, it was close. It was quite hot, but it's all in one place. It's all in one big hall. And obviously, I know with Falkirk, in order to get that, they would have to hire a different place than they do, and everyone knows how to get there now. And it's quite easy to get to the Graham High School. So I'm trying to find somewhere where it does fit all in the one space. Would be difficult because Falkirk is obviously a much bigger show because it's been running for 11-12 years now. So it is a massive show. So everyone wants to be there. I think with the Glasgow show, it will build up and build up and build up, and they might need to go somewhere else because you might not get all that space. You might fill up all that space that they had with more people. You couldn't get any more traders in there. I don't think you could get any more traders in there, to be perfectly honest. I think it was just jam-packed. So you're not going to get any more traders for that, which might be a detriment, but might not be at the same time, because you might get the right ones, you might get the wrong ones, you might get the best ones coming, and the best ones. The thing is, I think for that particular show, I think they got the balance in traders very right, very exactly how they should have. I mean, I went round maybe 3 or 4 times, all the traders, and I'm like, I had to stop myself from spending a lot more money than I could afford. Let me be absolutely honest about that. I mean, we're talking, I could have bought Mortal Gods for 50 quid. I could easily have bought that for 50 quid. I could have bought some of Sarissa's buildings for more money. Could have bought more games than I did, because I will talk about what I bought in a minute. I just there was so much stuff that I'm like. I mean, the one thing was there was no Scale 75 paints, which I'm thankful for, because I would have bought a whole load of Scale 75 paints. At least I never saw Scale 75. There was Reaper paints, but there wasn't a lot of them. There wasn't a huge selection. And then there was MiG as well. Somebody had MiG, but again there wasn't a huge selection. And if I'm going to go through it, I want like 3 complementary colours, so 3 shades of the same colour, and I want to go through them and see how they work. So they didn't have that, so I was like, well, no, I'm not going to buy them. Not that I could use them. Well, I can use them now, but at the time I couldn't have used them because I never had a table to work with to paint on. So at that point, anyway, I got one on yesterday, Sunday. But yeah, I mean, everything, it felt quite balanced for board games, RPGs, and war games. Obviously, you know, the big one like Warlord will do. Of course, I mean, that's the thing. I think it's quite important for Warlord to support all wargaming shows. I think you tend to find they pop up everywhere. Like every weekend that there's a show, they go, and I think that's the thing with Warlord, which I feel Games Workshop miss out on, is supporting the hobby outside of their own stuff. I mean, obviously Warlord don't have, I mean, they'd have their own shop down in the headquarters in Nottingham, but wherever it is down there, but obviously they don't have shops everywhere else, and a lot of their stuff gets sold through independent stockists and gets sold at shows. So they support, which I think Games Workshop should be doing more of. I know it's counterintuitive for them, but you know, I think they should be doing better in that respect. I've done about 10 minutes on this show, and I thought I wasn't going to have that much. I wanted to get a couple of interviews with people that were were involved in making it. My mate George, he was involved in it, but what I'll probably do is I'll get them on, probably, if they're going to do it again, which I hope they do. I really do hope they do, because we need more shows, and we need more good shows in Scotland. We've got one bad one and one good one, and ones that I never go to, so I can't tell you whether or not they're good or not. So we need more shows and more good shows in Scotland, and having one back in Glasgow is really nice, because you know, it's easier to get to than any of the other ones. I have to get a train and walk, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had to get 2 trains to this one, but that was purely because it's so far away. It's on the south side, which is 2 different lines. But Falkirk, it's hard to get to, because you've got to get a train and a bus, and you've got to walk some distance and stuff. That was for me. I mean, Claymore, I'd have to get train into town, train to somewhere in Edinburgh, and then bus to where the show is. So, you know, well, that was what, maybe 40 minutes travel, not including the 20 minutes walk that I had. You know, Falkirk, it's 40 minutes probably to Falkirk from here, and then you've got the bus ride, and then you've got the walk. So it's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and Claymore's certainly that far for me. So having one in Glasgow, and at this time of year as well, is quite good. I think maybe pushing it back a week or 2 might be the best idea for it, but you know, that's my opinion, and that might have been the only time they could get it But yeah, pushing it back 2 weeks, so you're still school time, so you're still getting school kids and everyone to come in and play. I mean, the thing is, it's in a sports centre, and it's during the summer holidays. I know a lot of the humidity came from the swimming pool. So, you know, obviously, you know, that didn't help with how hot it was, but yeah, you would have thought there would be maybe a wee bit more foot traffic from the people that were actually using the sports centre, but I don't know whether there was. So maybe having a wee bit better signage or stuff to get people to go to that once they're finished swimming or in the gym or whatever, because, you know, it's not necessarily that because you're sporty you're not going to be into gaming. I mean, look at me, for crying out loud. I used to play loads of sports, and I used to do martial arts, so I'm not exactly the picture of the, well, right now I am, because I've got the belly and the glasses, but you know, I'm not at my best the picture of a gamer, really, or what you expect from a gamer. So, you know, I love my sports as well as loving my gaming. In fact, you know, ask anyone how crazy my fanatical loyalty to Celtic is. It can be a little crazy. Also Scotland, but you know, that's because I'm Scottish. I should be fanatically loyal to Scotland. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's me talking about 15 minutes about it, and I honestly thought I wasn't going to have this much time to talk about the show. I probably repeated myself about half a dozen times, but so what I actually picked up from this show was Kaiju Incorporated, which is a game that I've already played. It's quite an interesting wee game. I'll get it 2 seconds. Right, yeah, as I said, I got Kaiju Incorporated, which is a game that I had actually played. My mate Alistair had it, and I quite liked it. So I was like, right, I'll pick it up whenever I can. It's for 3 and up. It's like a resource building game, where you get victory points for various bits and pieces that you pick up. So on it says a 30-foot lizard has just trampled the city. As a business owner, your future is clear. Rebuild and wear asterisks and make kaiju skin handbags. So it says step into the shoes of CEO in a land threatened by giant kaiju. It's up to you to turn the shattered remains of your city into profit and prosperity, but watch out for the next wave of monster attacks. Make money, construct buildings, and research products related to the war on kaiju. Collect victory points to ensure your company's domination. Can you lead your company to success and prosperity amid the rubble and constant threat of blob attacks? Who will corner the market on kaiju skin bags? Now, as I said, I played it once, and that was enough for me to go, right, yep, I'm going to buy that. So I will probably do unboxing and a playthrough of it for the YouTube. Though I've lost the bag for the counters. So basically, there is 5 players. It's a 5-player game, and for some reason I'm going to get 4 of the sorry, hold on. Right, so it's got corporation cards, it's got kaiju cards, it's got items that you build from kaiju parts, it's got your tracker on it with your kaiju attack, your eureka, so that's when receipt. So when research track loops, collect 1 face-up new product card. When kaiju track loops, you must enact the effects of the current kaiju card. So as I said, I'll go through it as and when we go through it. Right, so there's 5 corporations. The Y Group, it's based in Beijing. So it gives you bonus VP for different number of different cities. So 5 VP for the most Hong Kong guards at the game end of the game. Babi Yagich Corporation based in Moscow. Bonus VP for different cities, and then 5 VP for the most Vladivostok. Hawkesbury Limited, it's based in Canberra, so 5 VP for the most Melbourne guards. Monster Santo, based in Washington DC, so 5 VP for the most San Francisco cards at the end game. And Kaiju Moto Keiretsu, based in Osaka, so 5 VP for points for the most Tokyo cards at the end of the game. There is some quite tongue-in-cheek things in the game. So for Hong Kong, you've got Killer Robot Panda Factory, got Electronic Mecha Limited Melbourne, War Office Mobile Battle Droid Attack Tech Wombat. So Electronic Mecha Unlimited, it's got a Mecha Emu at the front, so it's like Levi Stress Super Textiles. So LUT LSST, I don't know where that comes from. Fabergé Kaiju Egg Factory for Tokyo, so FKEF. Don't know where that's come from. Some of them, you can go through them, and obviously the letters spell out something that has to do with that particular country or whatever it is. And obviously Moscow has the Kremlin. But the emu and the wombat are the ones that always get me for Melbourne. Each card has a colour, and that, so you say at the beginning of your turn, so I'm going to activate my reds or my yellows or whatever it is that you're going to activate, and it's a colour, if I remember right. But as I said, I will do a unboxing and playthrough at some point with the game. So with the product cards, you have Kaiju Mojo male enhancement pills, where the guy is massively muscled. You've got Open Carries Robosword, which is a mecha with lots of weapons. Kaiju Mucus Moose, yes, as you expect. Mazer Lawnmower, so it's basically a laser lawnmower. Kaiju Shin Can Bag. So that stuff all gives you either things when your rivals do things, money when income comes in, or just basic 4 VP. With the Kaiju Skin handbags, so you've got Kaiju Methane Superpowered SUV. For each your turn, industrial red cards in your tableau collect 3 VP. It says tableau. For every 2 Eureka of income in your tableau collect 1 VP. So these are all like end of the game, or they do things in your turn, or stuff like that. I think basically. Kaiju Horn Traditional Medicine 5 VP. Kaiju Burgers 5 VP. Kaiju Amusement Park, for each construction card in your tableau collect 2 VP. So obviously you don't necessarily always get like all these cards, all these Kaiju cards, all these cards that you can pick up for technology. Just look at some of the Kaiju. So Blobstera, discard 1 rival turn construction card. Mechathor, bank accounts just to 0. Calgon, discard 1 your turn construction card. Amanda, give 1 new product card to the player with the fewest new product cards. If multiple players tied for fewest, choose 1. If you have or are tied for the fewest, do nothing. Mothballera, lose 2 building cards of cost 2 yen or 3 yen. So there's this Mecha Konga. your research track is reduced to 0. So each kaiju does various different things as well. So as I said, I played this, I quite enjoyed it, and that's why I picked up. And again, as I said, at some point in the near future, I will do an unboxing and playthrough for the YouTube channel, because there is no YouTube episodes left to run. I have ran out. Right, the other things I picked up were a couple of Keyforge decks. Now, I've never played Keyforge, but my brother and a couple of people that I know play it, so I thought might as well pick up a couple of decks. And it was the Call of the Archons, the first ones that I picked up, but I've since picked up the starter box for the Age of Ascension. To exactly what it is. 2.6. Yeah, I think it's Age of Ascension. Yeah, Age of Ascension. So it's the Age of Ascension starter box I picked up. Now, the thing that I liked the idea of, because I played Magic the Gathering a long time ago, and deck building games like that just frustrate the crap out of me, because unless you've got the latest, greatest, best thing that you can have, you're going to lose most of your matches. The thing with Keyforge is every deck is set. You buy a deck, you cannot go, right, there's one from another deck, because on the back of it, it's got a picture, it's got a name, and it's got all the kind of groups that the stuff that's in your deck are from. So with one of them that I've got is the Bulwark that fearlessly heaps cavalry. An interesting name. So it's got Brobnar, or Brabnar, Shadows and Untamed. So that is the factions that are in that deck, and it gives you a card with all of the cards that should be in your deck. So you take that card to a tournament, you take this deck to a tournament, you say that's the deck I'm using for this game, and they can check it. There's an app that you register all of your decks with, and no matter what, you can't go, oh, there's my deck, because they can just go through it and go, well, that's not. No, you don't even need that, because you look in the back of it and it's not, because every deck is unique, every deck is named unique, every deck has what factions are in it on the card, so you can't cheat it. It's one of those things, and I like the idea of that. So I bought 2 decks. So as I said, I got the Bulwark that fearlessly heaps cavalry. And then I got Crow the Rapidly Celebrated. The random names are brilliant. I do know there was a bit of issue with a few of them because they were a bit naughty, but that's fine. So Crow that Rapidly Celebrates is Logos, Mars and Shadows. Now I have no idea how it plays. I'm just interested in it for the fact that it has that, and I want to play it, and everyone that's played it seems to enjoy it, which is a thing for me. If I haven't played it, I look at the people that I know that have played it, and they're like, well, I enjoy it, and it's different people, completely different types of gamers, and everyone I know that's played it enjoys it. So sorry, I get interrupted by my phone there. Spam call. Spam calls. Never mind. Not going to get in it. So, as I said, yeah, different types of gamers, all of them like playing this game. So, for me, that kind of goes, well, I'm going to buy some of them. And as I said, so it's a unique deck game by Richard Garfield, and all the decks are unique. The only problem is I'm going to have to find a deck box for them. I'm going to have to buy a deck box for them, because my deck boxes are all taken. So yeah, so that's what I picked up from there. this weekend. I was actually in Games Workshop this week as well for Warhammer Day. Now, I don't know what. I went in to buy a White Dwarf. The place was packed, and it's much smaller than it was. I mean, that's. I don't know if anyone knows, but I've actually been for an interview for Games Workshop in the old store in Glasgow, or Warhammer in Glasgow. And it was like twice the size in the place that they've got through, and it's like, why have you downsized this small? So I thought, that's my thought to myself, was why on earth have they downsized so small? But you know, that's up to them. Anyway, so it goes in. Pick goes. Have you still got a copy of the White Dwarf? Yes, like, yeah, but he gets interrupted by somebody, which is fair enough. I'm fine with that. So I see, well, he's got one. Hands it over. Somebody asks if they've got any of the Sisters of Battle left. The new ones, the limited edition ones. I don't know whether they are actually limited edition ones, but the special character ones that they brought out for Warhammer Day. One left. Hands it to somebody. Somebody else is looking for one. This is at 20 past, 10:30. And I think I know who actually was in front of me in the queue that wanted one. It's somebody that I follow on Twitter. But, you know, he obviously ordered that through mail order, but it's like, it's 20 past, 10:30. You only opened up half an hour ago. And everyone knows how much the anticipation for Sisters of Battle is. It's grown, it's gone nuts. There's people that have, there's people like Office Painter on Twitter who have been painting Sonic Sledge, been painting all the old stuff, and anticipating an actual army for it. I know Sonic Office doesn't actually play the games, but you know, I actually want to have him and Leaky Cheese and Scarlet and Stormgrad, all four of them on the show at some point. So I'll listen to the podcast that they actually had last night. Well, they had it on Saturday, but I listened to it last night, and I'm like, yep, I want all four of them on, because I think that would be, just let them have that, not just Games Workshop questions, but like everything gaming wise, you know, what they played, what they want to play, how they paint, all the rest of that kind of stuff. But I want them all on individually first. So I'm going to reach out to all four of them at some point in the near future. Actually, I posted it on Twitter, and Scarlett reached out to me, so I need to sort that. So yeah, I mean, I need to sort that. But as I said, half an hour in, and you've ran out of that. And I think there was about 3 lots of the objective tokens for Apocalypse, which was pre-ordered on Saturday. And you're like, where the hell is the product support? Where is all of the, you know, as I said, product support for something that you're obviously going to know that people are going to want. People are going to be raging when stuff doesn't actually turn up. I mean, I know because I overheard that we're saying that, you know, it's one per person on everything, but still, I mean, it's not like that figure is not going to be available to buy, but yeah, you support it a wee bit better. That's the biggest problem I've been seeing from Games Workshop recently, is lack of support on their figures. You know, they sell out too quickly. All the products are selling out like that, and they're like, well, we don't have any more. We won't have any more for X amount of time. And it's like, fuck's sake, man. You need to get your distribution and your product like management and your your manufacturing, all working together and actually doing it, getting it right. I mean, I know you're always going to have stuff that runs out, but the way that their stuff goes, it's ridiculous, because it's 2 or 3 weeks before they've got anything back in, or it is a month, maybe 2 down the line before it's come back in, and you're like, that's not very helpful. And I do know that they do have issues with the production, because they're looking at, I'm pretty sure they were building a new warehouse, or a new production facility, so they can increase the size of their production, like all their moulding and all the rest of that kind of stuff. I do know that was going on, but because they can't add to their current one. But at the same time, if you're going to release products, you release them. The problem is that everything's gone to plastic, as well. I think that was, I mean, it was a nice idea, but I think when you had the characters in metal and you had your troops in plastic, that was probably the better course for them. But what do I know? They made record profits last year, but you're making record profits, but you're still pissing off the fan base by not having stuff when they want it. And it doesn't help that all the third party manufacturers are being hanged out, because Games Workshop don't want any competition, which you understand, right? But the third party weapon manufacturers, if you're playing Horus Heresy, like my army, I mean, half my army has not got bog standard Games Workshop parts, because I had to go out and buy power axes for my Death Sworn. I had to go out and buy helmets for my Death Sworn. I've had to go get plasma guns for my bikes, my Outriders, because they're basic Space Marine bikes, but I've converted them into Outriders. But I've had to buy parts from third party providers, which bangs me out of an official Heresy tournament. Even though all my backpacks for my jump troops, because all of my troops are plastic, none of them are metal. They've all been converted, or they're just the ones that are from box sets. So for the vast majority of them, they've got at least a wee bit of conversion. Like they're Space Wolves, so half of them have no helmets on. Because we all know Space Wolves don't like wearing the helmets. They like having the hair free and the beard free, and looking like crazy fuckers. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't get power axes in the box sets, so I have to go out and buy them. You don't get jump packs. You can't get the jump packs free from the actual figures, even though they sell they could sell the jump packs and they could sell the weapons for any of the jump pack troops separately, because all they do is they take the tactical squad ones for those figures and then put them in that. It's no different. The figures aren't any different. So it's Forge World though. I mean, I'm not a big fan of how Forge World do things, or how things are done at Forge World, but that's neither here nor there right now. That's not a conversation to be had right now. But as I said, I'm not feeling the way that Games Workshop are doing things like that. And I know it's me bashing Games Workshop. I love playing Games Workshop games. I love playing Games Workshop games, and I have and always will, probably. But I can love playing the games, but I can also dislike the way that the company do things. And I'm not doing it for the sake of it, that people might think. I've actually had that from people. It's like, oh, you just bash Games Workshop, and this isn't person. This isn't from anyone that I've interacted with on Twitter or anything like that, or on here for this. It's just like, I'm not bashing them for the sake of bashing them. I'm not bashing them because it's popular to bash them. I'm bashing them because that's how I fucking feel about the way that they act and the way that they do things. I mean, I know I have got an issue with recruitment as well. That's my own personal issue with the recruitment policies and the way that they do things. I think the shop manager shouldn't have anything to do with it. I think the shop manager's too close to the regulars. But that's my... He's going to give the job ahead of a regular before he's going to give the job to an outsider. Also, the fact that you don't play just Games Workshop hinders you. Right? I can talk about Games Workshop till I'm blue in the face. I can talk about my history with the games. I can talk about how to play the games. I can talk about all these things. But because I don't purely play Games Workshop games, because I don't purely paint the way Games Workshop paint, because I'm not a neckbeard. Not everyone in there's a neckbeard, but you know what I mean. Because I don't kiss the arse of Games Workshop. I don't think that I'll ever get a job there, but also because I'm not a regular in the store, I'll never get a job in there. That's my personal opinion. That's my personal opinion about how things are going. The shop manager could come to me and say to me, "Listen, this is what happened." That's fair enough. But I got a bog standard reply of, we need to look at the advert closer to the kind of person we want at Games Workshop. But Stephen could come to me and go to me, "Listen, this is what happened. This is why you never got the job. It wasn't anything to do with that. It wasn't anything to do with this." And I'll be okay, fair enough. That's fine. But right now my thought is, I don't fit that particular mould that they want for their staff, because I'm a little bit different from what they're looking for, what their ideal staff member is. But at the end of the day, I've been gaming for 30 years. I've been painting for on and off for 20. I've taught people how to play games for at least 25 years, on and off. Well, maybe not 25 years, but you know what I mean. It's at least, I'm saying at least 25, it's probably at least 20, right? I've been teaching people at least 20 years, probably more than that, to play games. And I love Games Workshop, and I love playing Games Workshop games. So how the fuck am I not an ideal player, an ideal member of staff? I'm going on an rant, but I'm not, because I'm stopping myself. But yeah, I have my issues with Games Workshop. I'm always going to have my issues with Games Workshop, but I still play the games. I still support the games. I'm still going to love the games. It's not me shitting all of them because it's I hate them, or it's the popular thing to do. I'm shitting all over them for certain things, but I'm loving them for other things, because I want to see them continue. I want to play their games. I want to have fun and all that. But we'll get past that. So, as you probably are aware, in a couple of weeks I am going on holiday. A week on Saturday, I believe. It's so next week will be the last one this recorded on a Saturday, on the Monday, probably. What I will have is I will have two Infinity episodes to upload, because we played one last Monday and it's getting edited. We're playing one today and it's going to get edited over the next week or so. I've also got an interview with Philip Lochner, the guy that's behind Domains, That was a really good interview. I really enjoyed talking to him, and I'd have him on in the future when Domains is ready to go. I'll also say to any friends of mine that are podcasters that have a different style to me, find out about Orderly Publishing and Philip Lochner and have him on the show, because you'll have a completely different interview from me, and it'll be interesting counterpoints. And also, he needs as much publicising as he can get right now, because of issues in Croatia with crowdfunding. He can't really get that much support. What else? So that's 3 that I'll have. I might get Scarlett interviewed in the next week or so, and that'll maybe be in the chamber for release. I might get Leaky, I might get Stormgrad, I might get Office, I might get all 4 of them interviewed in the next week or 2 and get them uploaded, but we'll see how things go. There's not just, with those particular people, they're people that I want to talk to, but if any of you want me to reach out to people to talk to them, I do know somebody who worked at Modifius. He was briefly coming to our club in Falkirk, Ben Greybeaton. I know he's worked on a couple of the Modifius products. I'll give him a shout and see if he wants to come on and talk to him, possibly. But as you probably know, I've had a bit of an issue with getting to the Falkirk Club, the Thursday night game with D&D. So that is on a hiatus for a little bit of time for me. It's probably the rest that it will be for the whole of July. I will not be there, and I haven't been there for about 3 or 4 weeks. So what's going to happen is they're going to start a new campaign, hopefully this week, and then when I get back, I'll be able to jump in. It looks like it's going to be steampunk, which is interesting, because it's not one I've ever actually played. I've never actually played a steampunk sim. I've written steampunk. You can find it. It's called Strange Tales of the Scriptorian Vault. I think there's 2. There might be 1. There might be 2. Can't remember off the top of my head now. I've not actually got it to hand. Normally I do. But yeah, 2. Either 1 or 2 stories are written in that are mine. So yes. No, it's 1. It's definitely 1. It's 2 and another 1. Oh, I can't remember the other name of that one as well. It's shocking. I can't remember what things I've been published in. And it's not for the fact that I've had loads of stuff published. It's just my memory's fucking atrocious. But yeah, if you want Strange Tales of Scriptorian Vaults, it's a full steampunk anthology, if I remember rightly. And that is by Crystal Ink Publishing. It's a friend of mine, Sammy, and some other people involved in it. Find it, download it. You can get it on Kindle, or you can get a paper version of it. Yeah, that is steampunk. So I have actually gone. I'm rambling again. I'm really good at rambling. So yeah, as I was saying, it's the first time I will have ever actually played a steampunk set of adventures, campaign, what have you, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to going back, to be honest. July is going to be a bit of a bare month gaming wise, because obviously, right, I'll be here, I'll be at the club tonight, I'll possibly be there next week, but then the week after that and the week after that, definitely won't be there, because I'll be on holiday, and then the week after that I might be there, but I'm not 100% sure, so it's going to be a very barren gaming month for me. So, as you can imagine, I cannot wait to get back to normal service with gaming. Yes, I think that's. I obviously won't be at Glasgow District, but I will plug them. So, Glasgow District Board Gaming Society. I have been a member of the club for a good number of years. I can't remember how many off the top of my head, but it's turning on 20. It's probably actually more than 20 now. It is actually 21 or 22 years I've been a member of the club. Trying to build a member base that isn't just purely wargamers. We're trying to bring in board gamers, RPGers. So what we're going to be doing is the first 2 sessions at the club are free. I think the table cost after that is £3 each. So that's table hire for 3. If it's 2s, then you pay £6. Treasurer takes it, or whoever's in charge of the money at that point takes it. And then when we go to AGM, we're going to consider changing the way that obviously membership's paid, or whether or not you can just pay £10 or something like that to become a member, and then you pay your table fees whenever you pay your night's fees, which will be cheaper than obviously, or your day's fees rather than night's fees. Then I think that's an idea that's in the pipeline. So paying like a £10 and then maybe pay £2 per time that you're actually there, rather than you paying £50 and, like me, never ever turning up. I think I've been there like not even half the year at this point, because of various things that have been going on. Same as last year. I have rarely been there over the last 2 years, but I do go to the shows for them. I do support them, and as I say, there's going to be tables for board games and tables for RPGs. You know, if on a Sunday, every second Sunday you're having a problem finding someone to play, or at all usually finding someone hard to play, we're there for, I think it's 12:30 till 5:30, so that's 5 hours of gaming you can get in. And as somebody who plays RPGs, you probably get about 2.5 hours at best in a session at normal. So you've got double the time you normally have for a session. So it kind of works out that yes, you're not going to play every week, but you're getting that time that you would normally have every week to get through stuff. So that, you know, and for £3 or £2 if you're a member, it's not bad. It's not the worst. I know places that are much higher. So, you know, it's something to think about if you're a gamer and you're looking for something to play. Also, what I want to stress is, I know the club has had in the past, and I've bemoaned about it, less than open arm policy for fantasy and sci-fi gamers and what have you, and non-competition gamers, and all like historical only, like 15mm. But I haven't played a 15mm game in about 4 years. So, and I don't play historical. Only historical stuff I do is sharps practice. That's it. Haven't done anything else, and I mean, granted, I haven't been there a huge amount of time over the last 2 or so years, but it's still not just purely historical. It's not purely 15mm. It's not purely competition. You are welcome if you come along. Somebody will talk to you. Somebody will get information from you on what you like to play. You can email me at Yogi Dave's Hobby Corner at gmail.com about it. You can email. Hold on, 2 seconds. As other than myself, you can contact Dave Watson, the treasurer, head or secretary. Even sorry, treasurer is Gary Weston. balkandave@gmail.com, and he'll try and find some. We'll all try and find some way to accommodate you. I'm not going to be there this meeting or next meeting, but I'll be there on the. I'll tell you which meeting I will be there next. I will be there on the 4th of August. I think that's the day after Claymore. Maybe the next week's Claymore, but I can't remember. Anyway, I'll bring along some board games and stuff if you want to come along and play. And I think that is me for today. I think that's me talked enough. It's almost an hour. So as always, hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. We're almost at 1,000 listens, which is huge. So what's going to happen in the next wee while is obviously I'm going to be away for a wee while, so I'm going to upload some episodes and try and get ahead of the game. Will be a little bit ahead of the game. Obviously next week I will record on the Monday. I'll be done, I'll be ready, and we can get it going. And then after that, it'll be the Infinity Podcast. There'll be the interviews, as many as I can get done between now and going on holiday. And then I'll go back to this kind of podcast where I just talk to people. I might want to do one for Claymore in that week. And anything comes up, obviously, I'll talk about it. So I'm going to say good day and happy hobby, guys.